Let's get in a fundamental voice and a technical one at that. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, MD and CEO of Destimony Securities, to speak about the fundamentals, and Dr. C.K. Narayan of Growth Avenue Asset Advisors to tell us about the technical end of the market. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining in. Good having both of you. Dr. Narayan, a bit of a volatile week, credit policy and lots of results included as well. But a start to the Feb series, budget round the corner. What do the charts suggest? Weakness because we are below 6,000, or would you rather be optimistic?
What has happened is that, the premium which the Nifty had maintained at the time of the rollover has been completely consumed in the trading of Friday. So that's not a very good way to begin a new series. Also, a lot of stocks have actually been beaten back and have more or less surrendered. So I think all the longs who rolled over into the new series are certainly at a slightly let's say vulnerable point if the market were to show further downside follow through. Now if you look at it in terms of the movement, the rise has been pretty steep on if you were to do it on a weekly chart, and a lot of people in the market are looking for a pattern which is bearish in nature, known as a rising wedge. Now it's a bit of a trade-off here. Many times what is very obvious on the charts doesn't really come through, mainly because too many people are looking at it, identifying it, and are probably ready to act on it. So we need to see how much of people have just seen the pattern and how many people have actually traded on it. I think the trading commitment, the sentiment commitment to the market is still very, very low in terms of the willingness to hold on to the trade, and as long as that remains the situation, we should continue to see this kind of intraday volatility. So it's not very bullish as we step into the month, but I don't think it's too bearish either.
Sudeep, what did you make of the banking numbers, and maybe a bit of a respite, because some of the earlier PSU numbers weren't the best. Somehow PNB and Union Bank managed to stem the rot.
I agree with you, Neeraj. In fact, it was quite a surprise for the market, and that's what got reflected in the, market reaction to the PNB numbers yesterday. But having said that, I can't say that PSU banking space is out of the woods yet. The NPA issue and the asset quality issue keeps surfacing, and I won't discount them and kind of ignore them completely even at this stage. I think worries do remain, and believe me, till the economy starts coming back on track fully, these worries are here to stay. So yes, PNB has come out of the woods probably in terms of asset quality, but there are many other PSU banks who are yet to come out of their problems as far as asset quality is concerned. So our bet will continue to remain on large cap private sector banks and select other private sector banks.
Sudeep, what did you make of the Oil India OFS?
Well, I think it's a very well handled OFS. In fact, if you see the way the OFS has been positioned, the decisions, long pending decisions, in fact, pertaining to these sectors which are being taken in quick succession over the last 15-20 days in anticipation of this OFS, I think finally the government has woken up to the idea of proper positioning, proper pricing of disinvestment candidates, and that's happening. It's a welcome development. We did see the issue getting subscribed well within time and very well. So I think it's probably a beginning of a phase where government handles disinvestments right. They of course have many other disinvestments lined up even during this fiscal. So let's see how things pan out going forward.
Would want you, Dr. Narayan, on one of these names. Bharti Airtel, the numbers came out and disappointing in terms of the profit after tax. BHEL similarly, very poor margins performance as well, 200 bips below estimates. The only one which did very well was Lupin, and that showed in the price as well. So one of these three, if you have tracked them on the charts.
I actually track all of them actively. So, but then the kind of standout item among all the three would be Bharti, I think, because of the kind of movement that it showed prior to the results and post the results. I think it just got slammed on pretty hard post the results, and it does seem that it might actually head down even further because it has finished off a fairly decent rally, and the results were way below market expectations. As far as BHEL is concerned, not too much of expectations going into BHEL, so I don't think it's really going to get out of that range that it has been caught in for multi-month. Lupin, on the other hand, has been sort of positively biased, and it continues to meet with market expectations. So as and when the market tries to look up, I think Lupin will be among the ones which will probably gain a little ahead. So maybe fairly positive on Lupin, but very neutral on BHAIL and bearish on Bharti.
Sudeep, want to come to you. Glenmark, Crompton or UFOS, anything that you particularly liked or disliked?
Well, Glenmark, Aisha, we've been liking for quite some time, and I've been very clear that this mid-cap and small-cap pharma has huge potential, and you need to just identify some good stocks, and all of them have their stories of their own. There is very clear re-rating happening for the mid-cap and small-cap pharma also, apart from the large-cap pharma. So, yeah, in the entire pharma pack, amongst the mid-cap and small-cap, we do like Glenmark and Ipca Laboratories. On the capital goods space, where Crompton Greaves comes from, we have been bearish. And, a company like Crompton Greaves has been underperforming every quarter for the last, I think, 4 or 5 quarters. We are yet to, come to the conclusion they're at the bottom of this cycle. So I think we have to be very, very careful on the entire capital goods space even now. We did see some of the other large cap capital goods like BHAIL also, and they were equally disappointing. So I think on the balance, mid-cap, as we have been mentioning, one has to be very, very stock specific and selective.
CK, want to get your views on Adani Port as well as Colgate and what the charts are indicating.
See, Adani Port has been trying to really push up, I would think, say, since about October or so. The bulls have been more or less in control, and they are trying to push it up further. It's reached that region where there was some supply about 6-8 months ago at about 155. This region between 155 to 165 is where some decent amount of supplies had emerged last time, and I don't see in the current market, unless there is some big large-scale buyer here, how they would manage to withstand a fresh supply. So at this stage, at 151, 152, is it worth a buy? I would definitely say no, unless you are just trading it for a few bucks. Was the other one Colgate that you said?
That's right.
Okay, Colgate, I think the market has not really kind of received it very well post the results. And I find that the kind of pattern that is formed on the sell-off from the highs is not very encouraging. It is actually indicative of a slight shift in the trends. Maybe we should be seeing some sort of intermediate correction coming into Colgate now. So I would suggest that those who are holding some trading longs or have created any sort of short-term investment positions in Colgate are much better off trying to bail out during any rally that they may see during the week. And fresh investments at the current juncture is certainly not advocated. Maybe other stocks in that similar price zones might offer much better prospects.
Tons of numbers to watch out for next week as well. So let's just spend some time discussing some of those. Bank of Baroda, wherein the Q3 profit is expected to be flat and NIMs are expected to be stable. There is M&M, Hindalco, Sun Pharma, Cipla, and a host of mid-caps. But let's just start off with the banking space. And Sudeep, what about Bank of Baroda? We spoke about how PNB probably improved sentiments. There was the credit policy which impacted the banking stocks and some new norms announced for provisioning on Friday as well. All of that coming into play. How would you look at a Bank of Baroda?
Look, Neeraj, I think the most critical thing as far as the PSU banks are concerned is the asset quality. And I think I'll wait for the asset quality numbers and asset quality figures to emerge from their numbers, and that's what will, I think, interest the market most. If the asset quality shows very clear improvement, market will give thumbs up. If there is a problem of the asset quality, I think the stock will suffer.
The other set of earnings that will come out are the pharma names, Cipla as well as Sun Pharma. Cipla, wherein the expectations is that there could be forex movement which will aid the quarterly revenue, but the growth in India business will be in line with peers. So that's the focus for Cipla. For Sun Pharma, Taro and Caraco sales would be muted, but robust growth expected in the India business for Sun Pharma, and that will be the other one to watch out for. So these are the couple of pharma stocks. Before I come to Sudeep on them, Dr. Narayan, how about Cipla and a Sun Pharma on the charts ahead of the numbers? How do they look?
Very dramatically different, of course. Sun Pharma has been a complete tiger for the bulls. It's just been delivering week after week, month after month, and continues to indicate signals that it will keep up that kind of performance. Any dip, therefore, in this stock actually warrants a buy, and I don't think the results are anything which is going to disappoint, because there are no signals on the charts that there is any kind of expectation of the numbers being any worse. Cipla, on the other hand, has been meeting with a little bit of supply and some amount of resistance, upwards of about 425 to 450 region. I think if the numbers are a little short of market expectation, we may see a pullback to the 375-80 region, where it might again become a little bit attractive for buyers to seek their or chance their arms again with. But at the moment, I would not really buy into a Cipla, and I would rather wait for the numbers and see the market response to it before venturing there. But Sun Pharma, I'm a lot more bullish on.